Hello, my name is Eamon McAuley, and I'm a great nephew of former world professional flyweight champion, undisputed champion Rinty Monaghan. I'm here with my uncle Tommy, who was Rinty's brother, and we're here basically to appeal for people to help us that will want to get a statue of Rinty unveiled. There's an imbalance here. We've got Mary Peters track, Mary Peters Stadium, Mary Peters playing there the other week. We've got George Best Airport. We've got Danny Blanchflower Stadium. We've got a statue for Joey Dunlop. And people are nice saying Alex Higgins is dead 2 years. Why is there no lasting monument? Well, Rinty about 30 years dead in 2014, and there's nothing to recognise or acknowledge or celebrate the great pride that Rinty brought to this city through his boxing. What was I going to say? Tony Curry, I just want to, Karen, if you can focus in here on this statue here of Rinty. Artist Tony Curry has made this. This is called a maquette. It's a small statue of Rinty, and it's marvellously detailed. It's wonderful, and Tony is hoping to make the life-size statue. He's very passionate about it, and he would like to do that. Also, Tommy's brought along Rinty's World Championship belt, the Nat Fletcher belt. The Ring magazine, Nat Fletcher was the editor of the prestigious Ring magazine, and Nat Fletcher crossed the Atlantic to present Rinty with this belt in London. Rinty also held a British title and also European and Commonwealth. Also the Irish, yes. We're hoping too that Belfast City Council might buy the belt and display it at the City Hall. That would be a wonderful thing for the family, a very proud moment for the family where our children and our grandchildren can go along and see the belt, and we know that it's desired. We formed a committee, as I say, called the Belfast Boxing Ring, and what we are about is recognising and acknowledging and celebrating the great history that boxing has brought here through a series of statues or stuff for, you know, we're hoping there'll be a knock-on effect with Rinty statue if it happens, and there will be one at Johnny Caldwell, maybe in the Dunvale Park, and then maybe one for the Shankill boxers, Jimmy Warnock, Tommy Armour, Davy Armour, William McAuley, people like that in Woodville. So Tommy, talk to me about some of your memories of Rinty.
Oh, my memories of him was when he was 10 years older than me, but I do remember going on doing road work with him, and he had put in about 10 miles of hard road work, and then of course he'd train in the afternoon and train at night, and he just was a hard person training for his boxing. And other than that, I was a seaman, so consequently I was away all the time, so I never got to see only maybe one or two of his fights.
Right.
And I was not here when he won the world title. I was at sea then. So, but I do know that when I get back, and the tremendous reception he got when he won the title from everybody in Belfast, that really congratulated him and were happy and brought, at that time, the both people all together, and they were all.
There's a bit of an age gap between you and Rinty, isn't there?
10 years, yeah.
10 years.
He's 10 years older than me, yeah. So that was that.
And you spoke about you did see the great spars, and you said it was a sight to behold with my grandfather, Harry McAuley, who was Rinty's brother-in-law, who married Rinty's older sister Sarah, my granny.
Yes.
And my granddad would have been featherweight and lightweight. And he was Northern Ireland champion, he was a great battler. But you says when they sparred, they really went at it.
And when Rinty and your granddad sparred, which I seen, was
sight to behold.
Yeah.
Wow.
The trainer used to say, "That's it, quit."
Yeah.
Because it was just that way, you know.
See, what we're worried about here now is my uncle Tommy's 84, and
Did you?
Oh, he looks terrific for it. He works out every day. He's terrific. He's going to see 100, Tommy, please God. But Rinty's daughters, Rada and Colette, are in their 70s. And Rinty's wife's passed away, Frances. And Martha, Rinty's daughter, passed away 2 years ago. So, I'm not saying we're dragging our feet. You know, some of these politicians, we need to really get on board with this and get this done. I want this done. So it's my Uncle Tommy. That's my motivating factor. My Uncle Tommy and Colette and Rada and all will live to see this statue. You know, we've been in this committee now for 3 years. And even though we've got the sites secured, you know, the money isn't made available yet, although we're hearing that Carl McKillen has pledged 3 million. The Minister for Sport has pledged 3 million for the boxing after the great success of the Olympics there. So we're only looking at dropping the ocean. We're looking maybe 60, 70,000 pounds for Tony to make the statue, or whoever it might go out to tender, and to regenerate, a little bit of regeneration in the Arts College area. It would be a wonderful tourist attraction for people to see. And also a lasting monument to Rinty.
Yeah, it would be great. It would be great to see that. And I would certainly would love to see it before I pass on. And I absolutely feel he deserves it. He was the only world champion of that as division, and there was no other champions.
8 weight divisions, when Joe Lewis and Sugar Ray Robinson and Henry Armstrong, the legends, when they held their titles, that's when Rinty was champion. It was 8 weight divisions, one champion in every weight, and that'll never be seen again. Well, the proliferation of boxing today, that'll never ever be seen again. Now, I want to get into a wee bit, going to murky waters here. I want to be subtle about this. And I want to say about the imbalance here, as I said earlier, with Geordie Best, with Danny Blanchflower, with Mary Peters, you know, with Joey Dunlop and all the rest. You see, the old Stormont regime, I mean, I have to be subtle here. I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't mean to be sectarian, because I'm not sectarian. A lot of my best friends are Protestants: David Armour, Neil Sinclair, Stephen Cook, all great lads. But nevertheless, it's a fact. I mean, that Rinty was ignored. Was it because he was a Catholic? I don't know. In the old Stormont regime, now everything's changed now. We're in a different dispensation now. We're sharing power and sharing space. But in the old Stormont regime, I think if Rinty had been a Protestant, a statue would have been up Burble Carson's up in Stormont, because it was deserving. He was deserving of some sort of recognition. So our politicians, all our politicians, we're in a new dispensation, as I say, and a shared space. So all our politicians need to throw their weight behind us. And I'm doing this today for people to get on board and support us, ordinary people, anybody who watches this. You know, could you start writing letters? Could you start appealing, start beating the drums here? For, as I say, time is of the essence, because Rinty's relatives, close relatives, his immediate family are getting pretty old now. And it's, as I say, my motivation is for me to see it come to fruition, and for Lenz to see it come to fruition. Tell me, many relatives do we have out in America?
Well, I have 2 sisters that were out there with me. Their families are all born out there. Mine was all born out there. So I would say 6, 10, 15, at least 15 from my 2 sisters.
Which 2 sisters are out there? Peggy died last year.
Yeah, Peggy just died last year.
Who's the 2?
And the other one was Norrie.
Norrie, of course, yeah, of course.
Norrie.
And then my Aunt Peggy,
and then,
your niece.
And then I have my niece,
Yeah.
2 nieces.
Right, all your children and
Peggy.
Anne, that's right, Peggy and Anne.
And Anne's out there, 2 nieces, and their families out there. But then I had cousins up in New York that lived in the Bronx, and unfortunately, one of my cousin's grandson was working in the Twin Towers whenever September 11th the planes hit, and he was killed.
Died, yeah.
He was working in the 102nd floor,
Right.
and he was killed. And
So all our relatives out in America, we just want to say hi.
Yeah.
And we know you're just as proud of Rinty as what we are. And please God, yous will all be over. If this comes to fruition, when's this come to fruition?
Yeah.
Please God, just be over when the statue's unveiled, because what a very proud day
Yes.
in our lives that would be.
And my children are looking forward to that day as well.
And there's a belt. Can I get a good close up of that belt there? We've also got a proud tradition of boxing in the family. I box professional, that's my ABA Cup there. And my son, that's my son Kieran's Commonwealth Games medal. And as I said earlier, my grandfather Harry McAuley, he was a professional champion, Northern Ireland champion. And my uncle Sean has been the coach up in Monaghan Boxing Club for 40 years. Sean was awarded a prestigious award there in the City Hall for his recognition, not just of boxing, but for community work he's done in the area, taking the kids away from drinking, drugs, paramilitaries, whatever. He got a big award there in the City Hall, so we're very proud of that also. But we've a great boxing tradition, and a great, and horse racing terms with thoroughbreds. But Rinty is the daddy of them all. When none of the rest of us reach the heights of Rinty, so we'll bow down to his superior boxing skills. But I was better looking.
His achievements.
Tommy, my granny Sarah, who was the eldest in your family, your older sister, she was a tough old lady. If boxing had been around then, the way women boxers
She would have been.
she'd have been world champion. And they said to me she sparred quite a bit with
And
Rinty.
she went to her young, my dad, my father had gloves on. All of us had gloves. He put gloves on all of us as soon as we were able to put them on. But my sister and my brother, Rinty, they used to spar in the house. He had them sparring in the house with each other.
Right,
And,
wow. Tough introduction for Rinty now, I'm sure my granny dominated.
Yeah, and she was very tough. She was a strong, very strong woman.
Yeah.
And that was...
And of course Rinty didn't box amateur, he just jumped right into the
and
he had a few defeats early in his career, but he was still getting the grips with boxing.
Yeah.
Never boxed amateur, never
boxed amateur. He used to box in the
Chapel
Fields, and anybody come up and just take him out of the audience and they'd box up there in the ring, and that's what he was doing.
Wow.
So,
anyone in your family, your children ever take up the boxing?
No,
They're all teachers,
never encouraged
lawyers, solicitors,
because I think it's a hard game.
Yeah.
And you have to be the best in order to get any fruition from it. You just have to be the best.
But you're very proud of your family, they've all done very well.
Absolutely.
Headmaster, they're very successful.
Yeah, he's successful in the school education in school in Texas. And my two daughters are nurses.
Wow.
The other one is retired right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what year did you go to America?
In 1948.
1948.
1948, I went to the United States, yeah.
Right.
I was 20 years old. So that was when Rinty won the title at 47, then he had a fight against.
That's right, yeah. He retired in 1950.
48.
After the fight with Terry Allen.
50.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Rinty never got to America.
No, he never got to America.
But quite a lot of your brothers and sisters went out to America.
Yeah. Well,
prosperity and
we used to be, like I say, we were all seamen mostly, and we were always going to the United States in the ship.
Yeah.
But we had relatives, like I say, up in New York, and we used to visit them quite a bit.
Right. Well, Tommy's a wonderful inspiration for me. He really, really is a great role model. I'm sure he's been a tremendous role model for his children and his grandchildren. But for me, Tommy, as I say, I don't mean to keep on about it, but I'm really proud of it. Tommy's 84, and he's in wonderful, wonderful shape. He works out nearly every day. Please God, I can be like that. I would aspire to be like him.
Yeah, well, this is it. But you keep yourself in good shape.
And he loves the women. Now don't be showing that to Patsy. He's an eye full of women. Oh!
I love women. I don't doubt about it. I just love women. You can't help it.
Who doesn't? What man doesn't?
Yeah,
what man doesn't?
This is it. If he says he does, then he's a liar.
He's a liar. Yeah.
I think.